Okay, well, I don't know what happened, but it doesn't matter. We're going to start again. What I was talking about is spiritual recharge. We're getting a spiritual recharge. We're starting to move into places in things that we're going to see God perform His word. We're going to see Him do what He said He would do. I don't know why my camera is not working. This is just a challenge. I don't care. I'm going to keep going. Anyway, what I want us to know is that we're in a battle right now. Satan is the father of lies. That's what he does. He can't do anything but that. The other thing is that he deceives people oftentimes by telling people things, that he can't see the future, right? So all he can do is conclude that from the past and things that have happened in the past, he goes ahead and then puts it in your head or puts it in your mind that those are the very things that you're worth. That's what you're going to expect. This is what you've always had. This is what you always do. And you know what? God doesn't see it like that. God does not see it like that. He sees that we are moving into a time where we walk by faith and not by sight. We walk by every word that proceeds out of His mouth. We hold fast to that which is good. We know that God is going to perform great and mighty things on behalf of us. He is more concerned. He loves us, and He loves our country, and He loves our family, and He loves everything He has for us more than we do. And so we have this promise on the inside of us that God is going to complete what He started. He told us to pray, thy kingdom come and thy will be done right on this earth, just right here, just like it is in heaven. And there's no reason to vary off of that. There's no reason not to believe and not to pray that. We need to hold fast to that which is good. We've got to stand strong in what we know and believe. It's through faith and patience that we inherit the promise. That's what happens. We have to be patient. We have to realize that God's got a process, and He has a thing that He's doing, and He also has perfect timing, by the way. Everything about Him is time-stamped. He's got a timestamp for everything that He does and every way that He's going to perform and things that are going to happen. We are living right now. You might as well get used to it. We are going to live in miracle realm. Everything that happens in the coming days from now on is going to be, we just need to expect miracles that will happen. God will perform for us and do things for us that we cannot do for ourselves. We don't have the ability to do it. We can stand, we position ourselves, but He's going to perform miracles. He's going to do things that are way out of our control. He's going to do things that we never dreamed or thought up possible. He's going to take down the enemy. He's going to challenge those that challenge us. He's going to frustrate the plans, and the very pit they dug for themselves, they're going to fall back into. So what we have to realize is that we're living in a day now where we have to be bold in faith. We have to have a spiritual recharge. We have to remember that He's not asking us to be lazy. He's not asking us to just sit around and wait for other people to put in prayer requests and put in things that they want us to partner with. There's something about agreement. There's something about when you come into agreement with God's will and people that are speaking His will and people that are holding fast to the promises that God has for us for our time on earth right now. That's what strengthens your resolve. We now are in agreement, and when we are in agreement, God performs. He literally commands His blessing. He literally acts on our behalf. He said that if you seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, all these things will be added unto you. So there's nothing that He will withhold from those who walk uprightly in Him. That's what happens. But if we get spiritually sluggish, or we decide that, it's just too hard, or it's never going to happen, or, blah, blah, blah. Oh, come on. I have seen so many things happen last minute. I mean, just when it looked like all hope was gone, just when it looked like nothing was going to really work out for us, I have watched God perform on my behalf personally. The last minute, the last second, the last moment that I thought, oh my gosh, it's over. It's never over with God. God says when it's over. Remember, we talked about that before. Jesus is the only one who can say with certainty, it is finished. That's it. So He's got things that he wants to accomplish, and he's going to perform it. He's going to line up things. He's going to set up things on this earth so that he can perform his word. He can accomplish his purpose for our country. He can accomplish his purpose for our families. He can accomplish his purpose for our life on this earth. We've all got a book written about us. We all have an assignment. We have a calling. We have gifting. We have things that we need to do. So he is at work to perform those things. God is always at work. He's always at work to perform his things, his good works on our behalf. That's what he's doing. He's always working all things after the counsel of his own will. So we get to now partner with that. We get to strengthen our faith. We cannot be spiritually lazy. We have to have a spiritual recharge. We've got to realize that he's in control. He's the final say. That's just it. He's the final say. He's the one that's going to direct us and tell us how we need to position ourselves and what we need to partner with and how we need to partner. So I want to encourage you, because I've heard so many people just like, I just don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I feel like, well, feelings come and feelings go. Okay. That we don't live our life by feelings. We never have. We're not, we're not human feelers. We're human beings, right? So we're here on the earth, and our feelings will follow our choices. We've talked about that before as well. So, I just want us to be bold in faith. Be bold in everything that you do. Fear has torment, but perfect love casts out fear. And when the enemy comes in and he tries to distract you, First Peter says, you submit to God, you resist the devil, and he will flee from you. That means all the thoughts and all the lies and all the things that try and come in speaking contrary things to what God has said and what Jesus has said, they have to flee. They have to get out of here. You don't even get to pay attention to them. We were instructed pretty clearly that we don't live by bread alone, but we live by every word that comes out of God's mouth. I mean, that's just really what it's at, what's happening. So here we are. We're in this situation now where we get to strengthen our faith. We get to look boldly into the face of God. We get to begin to walk in confidence and strength and structure. We get to re-examine our lives. We get to find out from God where we're weak and where we need to be strong. We get to look in his face and say, what is it you want out of me? How do you want me to position myself? How do you want me to pray? What words do you want me to say? What declarations do you want me to have? And you repeat those things and you say those things, because that's what he says. We're echoing what's happening in heaven right now. The other thing that I think we need to come to grips with is that there's a lot of people that have passed on, okay? They're not on the earth anymore, but they prayed prayers when they were here. Some were great and mighty intercessors, and they prayed prayers when they were here. And those prayers are now being coupled and joined with prayers that we're praying. So God is literally fulfilling and answering the prayers of people that have even gone on before us. So I just want us to be encouraged. We cannot be spiritually lazy. We have to have a spiritual recharge. We've got to say, this is what it's going to be. This is how it's going down. We're not going to compromise. I'm not going to say what God isn't saying. I'm not going to agree with things that he doesn't agree with. I've never done it. I won't do it. And none of us should do it, because, otherwise we just strengthen a lie if we're doing that. So let's remember that we get to now, we have an opportunity to partner with God and to be peaceful and to stay in strength, and that we're going to run the race with patience. We're going to run the race with skill. We're going to be determined. We're going to have tenacity. We're not going to quit when it gets hard. We're just going to keep going forward. We're going to keep moving forward. I did a dream class last night, and I remembered a dream that had been sent in to me. And in the dream, there was a woman, and she was driving a car up a windy mountainous road, and her daughter was in the back seat of the car. And as she ascended the mountain, the fog got really strong, and she couldn't see what was going on. So she stopped the car. And when she stopped the car, the daughter was saying, keep going, just keep going. She said, and the mother said, I can't see. I can't see. So she was afraid to move forward in things she couldn't see. But and what happened when she stopped the car is that the little girl said evil men came around the car trying to beat on the windows to get in. And what was happening is it was projected fear. So the fear that the mother had was now being projected on the daughter as she was driving her car up a hill. Just because the fog sets in, just because you can't see, doesn't mean there's not a road. You may need to slow down and take it with more caution, but we walk by faith and not by sight. And when God has told us to ascend a hill, and when he's told us that that's where he wants us to go, that's what we need to keep doing. Even though we don't have a clear vision, even though things look clouded, even though things look like, we don't know what's ahead, it doesn't matter. What matters is we're going to obey what we've been instructed to do. And it really took a lot of pressure off of this woman to realize that she's been living in fear for a long time, and it's been affecting her daughter. And that was an actual dream that was sent in to me. So, okay, so we've got a few things coming up. I've got a dream class tonight, a beginner dream class. We have an intermediate one next week, an advanced one the week after that. We're doing a new thing called navigation. I think it's going to be a lot of things that we're perceiving and understanding what God is speaking to us right now in the navigation Zoom that we're going to do. It's a new thing. We haven't done it before, but there's just too many things that are coming out, right? And then we've got the outreaches that we're going to continue to do. I told you before, I did a little thing where we're the first of the year, I'm launching an army. I'm building an army, a literal army. I'm going to create an army of people who won't be afraid to go into places and to begin to engage people and see the kingdom of God brought into their life. We're going to do training. We're going to give you language. We're going to give you all the things that we've learned and all the places that we've gone. So it was our boot camp, but we're going to rename it. And then we also have the podcast, of course, on Charisma, on their podcast, and Spotify and wherever else they have their podcasts. But and we have a training center that we're putting together. We're going to be very tenacious and very intentional about building a training center. We've Tim and I've been around for a while, and we've got a lot of things that we want to share with people. We're going to build foundation underneath you, where you don't get sideswiped and taken off and blindsided by all the stuff that tries to come in and knock people down. We've watched so many tricks of Satan try and take people out and jack them up, and we're just gonna build a foundation underneath you. So you've got a lot of things that will help you grow and help you be stable in what you do. And then we're going to launch you out. We're going to begin to take teams out. We're going to start canvassing areas and get involved in the world that we live in. My heart's always been for America. It's always been for our country. I love missions. I've been all over the world, and I love going, and I still will when things are allowed and we can do it. But I'm telling you, our country right now, that has been my heart. That is where my heart is. That's what I want to see. I want to see God reach in and get a hold of our country. And I know how to do it. I've been in counterculture for 25 years and ministry for 40. So we're just going to go for it. We're just going to start doing it. So get ready. Got a lot ahead for us, a lot of new things. I don't know why my phone is not sideways. I have it sideways. It just doesn't look like it is. So whatever. All right. So I love you guys. I'm going to be on tonight. If you can get on the beginner class, it's a good one. We're going to keep doing the dream stuff. However, we're going to expand even more. And also we have worship sets that we're going to start doing too. We have a lot of great worship people around us, and we want to be able to do some worship and to have some time where we can just see God just soak right in his presence and allow him to just wash over us and take off all the junk. And again, remember that if it's not from God's mouth, man, if it's not from him, if it's not what he's telling us, we don't have any business believing that stuff. We don't. Right now the media is just an enemy to what God says. So please be careful in what you hear and what you adhere to, what you take in and what you agree with. It's very important right now that we listen to God, we do his word, we turn our back on the enemy, We submit to God, we resist the devil, and he'll flee from us. And it'll remove fear and everything else. So, all right, guys, I love you. Sorry about this first broadcast and how it went and it cut off and whatever else, but we're back. All right. Go to my website, cindymcgill.org. Go to the YouTube channel. Be sure and like it. Subscribe to The Shout. That's a way that we're going to get your emails and we can keep up with you in case, social media does something stupid again. So we're just going to get your, we're going to keep up with you that way with The Shout. So we just have a lot of things planned for the new year. It's going to be really good. All right. I think that's it. My book's coming out. I'll have a new book coming out probably early January, February. We're just tightening up the bolts on it. So we'll have it out pretty quick. Seriously, I'm not kidding. We actually have a book, another one. So it'll have a lot of strategies and different things in it too, and language that will help you, and some great stories that will give you some encouragement, right, about things. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Peace out.